whenever.
Oh, okay.
All right, welcome back to the 1-1 podcast. Today's guest, the boy, JD, Jordan Daniels, free agent outfielder, Ohio Dominican, Gahanna native, longtime friend. Welcome to the pod, JD. Good to have you on. Good to have you on. And now we're just going to get right into it. So, JD, when it comes to our relationship, a lot of times spent in the lab grinding. What's the biggest difference in your game now, mentally, from high school now going into your first year of pro ball?
Honestly, right now, for me, transitioning after college and graduating is just free will and not understanding that when it comes to just going to the cages, getting your swings in, everything has to be with a purpose. You can't go in there and just have no intent behind every swing. You have to have a purpose. Everything you do, whether it's flips, tee, machine, BP, you have to have a purpose in everything you do. You know, whether it's all right, I'm gonna catch the ball out in front this round, or I'm gonna stay back this round. I'm gonna try to hit the ball up the middle this round. Whatever it is, right? You have to have intent and purpose to everything you do in the cage, and you will have better results and understand. Okay, if I'm doing this day, this next day, you'll have a reasoning behind every day, and you'll get better in each department that you're trying to get better in.
For sure, and I will say, along those lines, something we've done really well is combining your expertise around the drive line to more competition baseball and still focusing on competing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say, how are you blending the new data and the new information, especially with you and your drive line background, going there this summer, working with those guys there, into the game and adapting our approach, but also training the high velocity, but also like we do, is a ton of at bat work, staying competitive, staying sharp in the mind, focusing on the stillness and what's going to happen in the game. Where's your balance and thoughts there?
Yeah, so I would say so. I went out to Tampa, Florida this summer, beginning I think June, and got tested at Driveline, did some measurements, and got my feedback. And basically, what they told me in a small little note was basically I need to hit the ball out in front. You know, my strength was there. You know, my athleticism was there. So when it came to hitting, was basically just hit the ball out front, getting my bat speed up, and the best way to do that is hitting the ball out in front. And so if you catch the ball back in the middle of the plate, you're gonna hit the ball well, but your bat speed isn't gonna be at its peak. So working from June, July, August up until this point, I had already had driveline bats, you know, heavyweight, lightweight, long bat, small bat, whatever it was, and to help me kind of maintain and increase my bat speed. So that kind of helped in understanding that. And then once we got into after a couple months out of that, me and Connor we did live ABs, and going into that it was more so all right. I have my swing now. How can I implement this into real game situations? So when we went to the indie ball jobs camp, it was more so okay. BP, I'm hitting the ball out in front, uplifting the ball, trying to hit home runs. You know, home runs is what gets you paid, not ground balls, not fly balls. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
so that's in my
Cash.
yeah. So in my presence, being at that camp, it was all right. We'll see how hard I can hit the ball to the pull side, and do damage. In which during our BP rounds, whatever it was, that's all I was doing, and I succeeded at doing that. And now that we're 6 7 months out from that driveline thing, it kind of helped me from that point on and understanding. Okay, if I hit the ball in front, I'm gonna hit it harder, right? This also you can hit the ball hard and backside, but if you hit the ball hard out in front, the XP level is going to increase and increase and increase the more you do heavyweight and bats and lightweight bats, and you just have to have that consistency.
No, most definitely. And it's definitely all into the process too. And it's building a routine in that system, especially too in the lab, the way we get after it. So, what are you most excited about, I would say, for 2026 in the sense of I know for background in your personal life, there's definitely a lot of unknown, especially for myself as well with
Hmm.
baseball and not knowing where the journey's going to take us. And that's the best part.
Correct.
So, what are you most excited for 2026 when it comes to upcoming tryouts, and I guess even overall like life stuff too?
I would say competing is that's all you can do. You have the opportunity to do a lot of things in life, and once you compete and give your all, that's all you can do. So I mean, at the Indie Ball Jobs Camp, I competed my ass off, and even though I might not get the calls after, right? I competed my butt off and gave it all my. So it's honestly just being able to go into 2026 and understanding that each and every day you go into the lab, hit, work out, everything has to be with purpose for reason. And at any point during the process, you have doubt, you have, declining setbacks. It's more so, okay, well, is it for me? Because there's times where you're going to doubt yourself. Sometimes you're going to struggle in the cage and say, is this for me to continue doing this for a living, right? Because right now, me and Connor aren't getting paid to do this. We're doing this out of joy, love for the game of baseball, and wanting to get play for long. So for us right now, it's all right. Each and every day that we can have to get better, we're gonna take the opportunity to compete with each other and push each other to make ourselves even better.
Nah, for sure. We definitely have a blast too, and like you just gotta love the journey too, and that's like the best part. Like you said, the art, because it's just getting into your own, especially too now, getting into your body, especially too where I know my mind's at ready to go for this upcoming season, this upcoming tryout season,
Exactly.
and what's to come in the future. So that's definitely super exciting. But gotta stay focused in the present moment and just stay now and just see what's beautiful now in the present moment. Help my awareness stay there and just dominate, especially in the sessions, because like there will days be that we doubt ourselves, and like the biggest thing I think I struggle with personally that know that's normal is like self doubt. Like even the best baseball players, you do research, everyone says they have self doubt,
Hmm.
but they say fuck it and go into it anyways, and that I would say that's my biggest thing for 2026. It's like the self doubt, fuck it, go into it, take one bold action every day and just go after it.
So let me ask you, Connor. So during the failure process, being in the cage, whatever it is, there's always going to be failure in life. So for you, how will you cope with that failure? Because it's honestly it's pretty much easy to get mad at yourself. Having a bad day, or whatever it is. So how will you, cope with it mentally, physically, whatever it is, by yourself to be able to understand? Okay, I'm where I'm at with my body. I'm at where I'm at with my mind. And bring peace with that.
So JD, that's a fire question because like what I love to tell people is I built evidence.
Hmm.
I've built evidence of me failing so bad, heartbreaks, failure like you couldn't believe, but I got back up every time.
Hmm.
And if you look also too, I've through that I've studied countless other great people, baseball players, artists, business people. And it's like they failed and suffered heartbreak that I couldn't even imagine
Hmm.
and kept going forward. So it's like once you realize go deeper into it, there is no good, no bad. Even out of the good, there's things to learn. Even out of the bad, there's things to learn. It's the non judgment when I just see it as it is what it is and step forward.
Hmm.
That's when I know I'm at my best.
Is there anybody in the last 5, 6 years, throughout college, maybe early, late high school, where you've been all right, you've been online or watching YouTube videos or just reading about stuff on TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is? Have you seen anything or anybody to like inspire you to kind of keep going and honestly kind of get past those demons where it's like, okay, I had this bad day, but this kind of uplifted me and pushed me towards that success goal that I want to have towards, going to play college baseball or wanted to play at the next level, past college.
Nah, for sure. And like for me, like that definitely is like a lot of my drive now is like my little brother. Like it's for him. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything I do is for him. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously like a lot of it too is in worship to God and just displaying my art because like I've always been different. I've always embraced, but now it's like I learned to embrace that.
Yeah.
So it's like I lean into that creativity. I jump more into those creative thoughts. When I have a creative thought, I take immediate action into it. And I know taking those bold actions into it will lead me to greatness. So it's like that's just the path I'm on. So I ask you, JD, to close us out. What's one piece of advice that you can tell your younger self or tell other individuals more about life? Like you asked me with Dylan with failure, I'm gonna ask you same type question. What would, in your experience so far, what would you offer the next generation? How to deal with failure and understand it's just a part of the process.
I would say so. Growing up, it's easy to have fun when you're 8, 9, 10 years old, right? But then once you get to high school and there's more pressure on you to succeed, which in those terms, right? The older you get, I always think about it this way: the older you get, the more failure there's going to be, right? Which is going to be more on your plate
Yep.
to bring, exactly, right? So when it comes to more failure, the older you get to understand that like once you get to that point of high school and college baseball, and if you are grateful and have the opportunity to play pro baseball, then that comes. But there can be more failure, and you need to deal with that more mentally and honestly physically as well, right? There's more games being played at the higher level, and going from high school to college, you're adding another 30 games onto that season, right? So the more you go into your baseball career, you need to understand just to have fun with it, right? I realized after my senior year, I took for granted, right? But also, I had fun my senior year. I didn't, get too mad about certain things because I knew I had the opportunity to play at the next level in college baseball, right? So I understood, like, okay, that summer going into my freshman year of college, I was like, okay, I can just have free will, not worry about much, and I had the best summer of my life. I, had the best stats that I've ever had, right? But in college, it was more pressure that okay, I have to come in as a freshman right away and prove myself, which is good, but also you're bringing extra pressure on yourself to overachieve, which can lead to overstressing yourself and leading to more failure instead of just taking back and saying okay, how can I take this failure and move on with it, right, and get past that. And I realized my senior year when I only had 1 year left of college baseball, just to realize okay, if I get out, sure, why not? I gotta have an next at bat. You can't get too mad about it. It's gonna happen. The more you drown yourself in sorrow and doubt, it's like okay, guess what? It's gonna carry on to the next at bat, next game, and you're just gonna dig yourself an even bigger hole, right? And you can't do that in the game of baseball. Baseball is one of the biggest failure sports ever, right? Succeeding 30% of the time is considered to be a great, right? It's good. Any other sport like that is terrible. So for me, understanding that at that level and it being my last year playing college baseball, I realized I was like, okay, I just have to have fun and free will and understand I'm doing this for my teammates, myself, my family, and God, right? And then after that, everything was just normal. I just had fun out there. And right now, this is what I'm doing in the cage, just having fun, just swinging. Not worrying about too much of the mechanical parts. And that's one thing I also want to say is don't change your swing every time something goes wrong. Right? It's a process. You're gonna have failures, and you're gonna have to deal with that. Right? So one swing, bad day doesn't mean your swing is cooked. Right? Sorry,
Nah,
but
that's valid. Everything you said,
like
spot
it's
on,
gonna
man.
happen
Spot
in
on.
baseball because the next day you might hit cage bombs or line drives out the middle, and it's the same swing. You just don't know, right? So you just keep doing the same thing, and it's all it is muscle memory at that point. So that's all my last point I have to say.
Nah, valid, JD. Nah, and I appreciate you hopping in the stew.
Of
Fire
course.
first podcast. We got more on the way. And you dropped great advice for guys in all levels. Just have fun. Childlikeness needs to be restored. Shout out Zip Drake, and we'll close it off here at the One on One podcast. Peace out.
Peace.